Hey guys, it's teeraccoon, and this is my third attempt of filming this video, so it's not gonna be as energetic and as wow as before, just because my memory card has been having issues and my camera's been dying for some reason. I think it's just because of the video topic that I'm talking about. That's about paranormal activity, and yeah. But I recently got this new dad cap from one of my friends. It's from Electus Perduas, and I will put a link to the shop below in my about section. And yeah, I would highly recommend you to check out their merch just because it's so dope and it's so comfortable and it's so modern. But today's video I'm going to talk about paranormal activity just because I think I've been going through paranormal stuff. I've had my fair experience, and my family's Buddhist, but I went to Roman Catholic school, so there's like a lot of controversy. I can't ever say that word, but yeah, let's get started. So ever since I was little, I was always visited by this little girl. She was around like the age of 8 or something. You know, like growing up, you'll always check yourself in the mirror just to make sure that like everything's okay. But I was always visited by this one 8-year-old girl, and she would always be in back of me. She'll have pigtails, so she'll have her hair like this, but it's braided, and she'll wear a flowery dress, and she'll always carry out a ball as if she wanted me to play with her. I would see her in any mirror that I would check myself in. She'll be like in the school restroom, she'll be at a friend's house, she'll be at my restroom, she'll be in a restaurant, she'll be following me around anywhere, and it was freaky. I swear she was like following me around, and it's not that I'm paranoid, but it's just more like, what is she doing, and like, where are her parents? Are her parents even alive anymore? But ever since I went to high school, she stopped visiting me. I think it's just because of our age difference. I hope that she's doing okay. I hope she's doing okay and that she's doing well, and maybe she found a human to be friends with her, or maybe like another ghost or spirit or whatever she is. I'm not sure if she was a good spirit or a bad spirit, but I mean, all she wanted to do was play a game of ball. And I obviously couldn't play with her because there was no way that I would be able to play with a ghost. No offense to her. But you know that feeling when like you feel like someone's watching you and like you're just being watched wherever you go? That's just how I sort of felt by having her follow me around. So another experience is, this is pretty recent. It's not to do with like ghosts or anything, but it could be a spirit or something. But a few days ago I was making omelets at my place for breakfast, and in my omelets I like putting mushrooms and kale and spinach, and yeah, it's just really good like that. But I had kale, spinach, mushrooms, and when I turned on the stove, before I turned on the stove, I heard a click. And so I was like, okay, that's sort of weird. So I turned off the stove just to make sure that it wasn't on. I turned off the stove, I turned it on, then I turned it back off. And so I'm like, okay, like, stove, are you okay? And the stove makes 2 clicks. It's like, and I'm just like, okay, that was weird. And then I was like, I asked the stove, and I was like, stove, can I use you? And it clicked twice. It went, and so then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can use it. So the stove stopped clicking when I put a pan on it and I started making my omelets. But once I put my pan off of the stove, it started clicking when I took my pan off the stove, it started clicking 3 times. It was like, and I was like, stove, are you okay? Right as I asked, are you okay? It went, and then I was like, stove, am I done using you? And it clicked twice again. And so I just felt like something was like messing up with my mind, just because every time that I finished asking a question, it'll automatically start clicking. And that was the only incident that I had with the stove of it clicking on me. And yeah, I'm just hoping that's the only experience. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was just like a malfunction in the stove. I'm not really sure. Maybe there's a spirit in my place. I don't want to think of that, but yeah. Another time is, I live near a park, and if you know where I live, kudos to you, but I live near a park. there'll always be like gun downs, always be shoot downs and so forth. And there'll be people dying in my neighborhood, and there will always be like children's memorials at my park. And during high school, I would use the metro bus to get home, and sometimes I'll get home around like 7, 8, just because I'll be hanging out with friends, or I'll go to like football games or basketball games or volleyball games and so forth. And I would always get off on the stop of the park. And there was this one time when I got off and I was walking. So I like listening to like screamo, pop, punk music. It's like A Day to Remember and Issues and Memphis Mayfire and Ghost Town back then, when just walking across the park, just because it's not lit and just because it's like a 10-minute walk from home. And I would just be blasting my like screamo-ish music just to make sure that like no one bugs me, because if I listen to like Justin Bieber and stuff, then like people would probably approach me, you know what I mean though, like I don't know, but that's just how I felt. But there was this one night when I was walking and I felt something touch my shoulder, and I turn around and I see no one, I see nothing. And so I keep walking, and then I feel a legit tug on my foot, and I start freaking out, but I try to ignore it, you know? I'm just like trying to play it cool because there's no one around me, obviously. And so as I'm walking, I notice the red light in front of me, and obviously when there's a red light, then there's like the don't cross sign, like the hand. But when the light turned green, there was the Walkman sign, and for the Walkman sign to come up, someone had to push the button, and there was no one around me to push the button. And so I got really freaked out because I was the only person around me. There was no one around that night except for me, and it was just really weird because why would the Walkman come up if I'm not even near the intersection yet to push the button? And so I just felt really weird, like there was someone around me, like a spirit or someone, because I got touched on the shoulder, I got tugged on the foot, and now there's the Walkman sign. And so I wait at the intersection once I reach the intersection, and I just stand there and I wait for the next green light for me to cross. And nothing really happens to me that night other than almost getting hit by a car. But I mean, that's the only thing that really happened. So bless my soul and bless my spirit and so forth. I'm just glad I'm alive. But the last incident that I have is during last summer when Pokemon Go was a huge hype. So it's back at the park. My park is known to be like a Pokestop, and it's known for like lures and so forth. So there's a lot of Pokemon. I was catching like Pikachus and like Eevees there, so I was feeling pretty accomplished. And it was like 7:30 p.m. when I decided to go to the park, and I was by myself, and I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty dope because no one else is at the park, so I can like claim all these Pokemon, right? But while I'm in the middle of catching a Pikachu, I hear like sirens, and I see like fire trucks and like ambulances and like police cars, and I'm like, oh, that's weird, like what's going on? They end up stopping at the park, and they end up rushing into the park, and I'm like, oh, okay, like did I do something wrong or something? And curious me, I like to know what's going on in my neighborhood, and so I follow them, and I see this man, and he was either unconscious or he was dead. And in my neighborhood there's like a lot of homeless people, so it's normal to see unconscious people in a way. It kind of sucks to say, but our city's getting a lot better with like the homeless because of gentrification and so forth, even though it sucks because we're getting gentrified. We're losing a lot of like our homey vibe, but now we're known as like hipsters, whatever. But yeah, my neighborhood's getting pretty safe now. But he was either dead or he was unconscious. And I was just like, oh shoot, like why didn't I notice him before? Because I walked past that general area to get into the park, and so that means that he fell or he died or something while I was in the park, even though I walked past that area of the park like 10 minutes ago or something. And it was just really freaky because I didn't even notice him. That's more like sketchy paranoia stuff, but yeah, I'm so sorry that things sounded really rushed. It was just my third time filming this video, and so I didn't really have the effort to really go into detail with these stories anymore, just because I've been telling these stories 3 times in a row today, just because my cameras weren't working, they weren't cooperating with me. I think it's just because of the topic that I'm talking about. But maybe as I come up with more paranormal stories that I've come to experience, I will do another story time. But for now, this will be it, and I will see you during my next video. And yeah, don't forget to check out Electus Perduas, and yeah, they're a local brand from the city that I live in, and I would highly recommend you to check them out. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any other paranormal stories you want to tell, then put it in the comment section below. And if you want, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot to figure out like what my viewers like content wise and what doesn't really work. But if you have any suggestions of any video topics to talk about next, just let me know also. And yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, I will see you during my next video, and I'm so bad at like closings, so this will be it, and bye.